everybody. My name is Chelsi, and I'm going to tell you my favorite story. On April 20th, 2012 was the happiest day of my life thus far. In January 2011, I started working at the restaurant BJ's. I had a great group of friends and a long-term boyfriend. That January, I had celebrated my 2-year anniversary with that boyfriend, Michael. That's when the fighting started. On an April Monday, I was scheduled to work with Karen, a girl I didn't know very well. We didn't talk. She wasn't very nice. And Brendan. He was hilarious, and he wore big glasses. I came into work that day, despite my best efforts. It was really obvious I'd been crying. My eye makeup was everywhere. I looked like a raccoon. Brendan always told me a joke or a funny story when I walked in. Today was different. He gave me a proposition. He was going to sign me to Disneyland after work if we could drive my car. He didn't have a car at the time. So once we were off of work, we were off to Disneyland. We got there in time for fireworks, and we won all of our favorite rides. On Pirates, the most romantic of all the rides, I waited for him to make a move. But he didn't. Instead, he joked, and he pointed out all of the hidden Mickey Mouse heads. So once we were leaving Disneyland, I realized I had a new best friend. And we picked out on McDonald's, and I took an apology phone call from Michael. We were back together by the end of the night. By the next March 2012, everything in my life had changed, except Michael. The stupid fights were the same. The only thing that changed is what we fought about. I think it was because we both knew we were headed for really dangerous waters, but neither of us had the wherewithal or the guts to abandon ship. So the relationship continued for a little while longer. Until, wouldn't you guess, my good friend Marissa decided to invite all the girls that could afford it to Vegas. But how could we stop the boys from coming once they caught wind of what we were doing, because they have to put everything on Facebook? So the boys came, but not Michael. I didn't invite him. I was pissed over our latest fight. That didn't go very well when he found out other boys were going to be there. But to save you the very foggy details of that weekend, I learned who would drive 1,370 miles to win my affection. Spoiler alert, it wasn't Mike, and Michael seized the opportunity to break up with me as soon as I crossed into California state lines. But I wasn't thinking about him or what he was doing now that he was single. I was thinking about my best friend. What I didn't know is I would keep thinking about him for months to come. I woke up that Friday morning and I was excited. I'm not a morning person. I'm usually kind of like a zombie. But I had butterflies and I was ready for the day. My best friend had something very special planned for me. I got out of bed, I was excited, and I got ready for work. I was on my way to the new salon I got a job at, and I started getting nervous. What was he planning? Oh shit, what was I going to wear? He hadn't seen me in anything but scrubs, my school clothes, or work clothes for over a year. So I got to work, and I was like, okay, this day's going to fly by. My new boss and I have a whole day stacked with appointments. It wasn't until I was pre-booking a client for the requested same time next week that I realized it was 11 o'clock in the morning. The day was going by forever. I honestly was watching the clock tick by. The worst part is I'm a nervous klutz. I was filling shampoo bottles, pouring color out as I mixed it. I went as far as splashing another hairstylist with the shampoo hose. Finally, 4 o'clock came, and our last client strolled in. I mixed her color, I cleaned up, and I was out the door, homeward bound, and then to meet Brendan at his Aunt Lisa's house. The location was the only thing he would tell me. I got home as soon as traffic lights and speed limits would allow me, dashed up the stairs, flew into the shower, cleaned off all the client's hair from the day, cut my leg shaving, and forgot to use conditioner. I decided to wear my long black skirt and my white off-the-shoulder loose white shirt. I put my combat boots, my red lips on, and I was on my way to Brendan. I got to Aunt Lisa's house, knocked on the door, and he greeted me with a smile and a fat kiss. But nothing in the house looked out of the ordinary. He told me to go out back, which was usual, and he would be there in a minute. I got out back expecting to find Aunt Lisa's patio covered with leaves and all the baby toys that are always there. But there was no leaves, there was only rose petals. There was no baby toys, there was only a table set for 2. On top of the table were crystal dishes, candlelight, and a flower bouquet. He came outside and served us our favorite meal, Little Caesars and orange soda. He knew me so well. Over dinner, we talked about everything we loved about each other. Mushy and gross, I know, we're so cute. And we enjoyed it and we loved it, and afterwards he gave me his class ring. He asked me to be his girlfriend. Old school, I know. I immediately accepted and have never looked back. April 20th marks more than the day that me and my best friend tripped, stumbled, and fell into love. It marks the day that I went from being the person I was to the person I am today. Thank you.